Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the South African Comedy Insider. Of course, the channel where we discuss all things on the inside of the South African comedy industry. Today, I'm here with Bexta.
This is I.
I don't want to mess up your surname, Ndabalime.
No, Ndabalime. You're one of those people that, because it's a Nguni surname, you must put a Q. Don't be white.
You know what the problem is as well? Is that I've never heard you say.
Really?
I hear hosts say it. Come to the stage,
But
Bexta!
they say quickly.
And then they say all sorts of stuff. Today's Ndabela in the Vasi.
It's just Ndabalime. It's actually originally a vendor name, and because my vendor family hung out with Nguni people a little too much, then it got co-opted to Ndabalime. The original is Ndabali. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Just a little trivia there about it.
Nice overrated.
Yeah.
So, Bexta, before we get into it, what I like to do on the channel is for people to introduce themselves also.
Okay.
Give us just a short, very short, who are you, what do you do? If you had to define yourself or summarize your whole career and who you are in a short bit, and just say out there.
The comedy space.
Comedy.
Hey, hi guys. My name is Bexta Ndabalime, name given by my mother's Behimpilo. Been doing comedy since November 2013. Since November 2013, but taking it seriously since about, let's say, Feb 2015, around about there. Been doing comedy. Started in Johannesburg. I've performed all around the country. I've performed in a couple of countries on the continent. Did a little bit of acting, sitcom, and now all I do is just do my best not to disappoint my mother.
Tell me, what is your, if somebody had to say, what is your career highlights?
Career highlights. Highlight.
A movie you starred in, a Netflix appearance.
Okay, I haven't
Flex own.
I haven't done any of those big stages, but I would say the highlights for me are the two times that I evolved and discovered my voice comedically. I don't know if you are thinking as a comic you'd understand that. The first time was remember the Goliaths used to do newcomers showcase, and
The Goliath Club.
Yeah, but this was when, remember there was a time when they were renovating a club in Melrose and we were at the
Next door,
yes,
venue.
the venue. So that's where we did it that year. I think it was 2017. And that was the first time I structured a brilliant gag and got, I think there was like 3 points of standing ovation.
Throughout the set.
Yeah, so that was, for me, was okay, I'm confirmation, yes, you're a comedian. That's the thing, and being able not only to get compliments from the audience, but also from other comics as well, and senior comics as well. It really what you call it. That was a highlight for me. But for now, I'm just letting life happen.
Okay, nice. The reason why I'm here today is obviously you booked me to come and perform at Monaco Lounge.
Yeah. Extreme Comedy Wednesday. 9 years in the rocket
And
right
that's
now.
the thing, though.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I want to talk to you. Away, Bongani. I've got Bongani on Friday. You are too soon. You are too soon. And you're not even in frame. Away. Do a quick shout out.
Shout out. What's the name of this challenge?
South African Comedy Insider.
I went South African Comedy Insider. The name was Bugatti Jura, all day, every day. Out here all the way from Limpopo, Venda, V-City in the building. I'm my boys Prince, and of course Bexta in the 011. We're doing our thing. That's why I let you guys know, if you're not in Monaco every Wednesday, where you act, come on, baby. Come spend your money with us. And on Friday night, we're going to be at Hash Money. And all the way to Norwood, I'll be there hosting this weekend. I got myself, I got me, I got Mali Kudazi, and of course, Trevor Goomba. Just get him say, holla!
And the nice thing is I'm actually talking to Bongani in the next video. He runs a kick at Hash Money. So if you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you like Bongani, you'll see him in the next video.
The next one.
Shout out. But next to the big thing here that I really wanted to talk to you about is there are no more gigs that are able to run for 9 years. That is not a possibility. Especially in Johannesburg. That is not a possibility. How did you do it? Or how are you doing it?
Yeah. To be honest, I have no idea. Even just starting was a fluke on its own. When Maboneng started creating a nightlife, there was a spot called Shakers. Well, it's still there, Shakers Cocktail Bar. That was the first place that was open, and there used to be small comedy rooms around. I mean, there was the box at Pop Art when Pop Art was still in Maboneng, and we do comedy there.
Was the
Sundays.
was the shaker start while the box was still on?
Yes.
Oh, but it must have been like a little kid.
Yes. We were, oh man, I think probably for the first 6 months, we barely got 5 people in the audience. Barely.
I remember that room. It was a room where you stood in the middle and then people would sit all around you. And you kind of have to rotate yourself and do the 360
I love
comedy.
that setup. I think that was in the last year before we left. Before we moved to Shakers Extreme. But we started at Shakers Cocktail Bar, which had that nice center stage for that last year. Lovely. I enjoyed that. It felt like you were in a boxing ring.
Yes.
You know, it was like, and a lot of comedians will tell you this, that every time they come to extreme comedy, whether it was a Shakers or Shakers Extreme or even now at Monaco, you gotta bring your A game, because after time you're trying to prove to these people, yo man, take these nuts, I'm a funny guy, you know?
Yes.
So, but yeah, when it comes to maintaining 9 years, okay, look, I'm one of those people where for some odd reason, life seems to work out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so getting the room, first of all, the owner of Shakers just saw me performing at another really small comedy show, and then he came to me and said, listen man, you've got nice energy on stage. I want to start comedy at my spot on a weekly basis. Come through and do that. Then January 2017, we hopped on, and I started that out with George Kuda. Well, now he goes by Kuda Kwashi, his best name. And then just every week I'll go there, and one of the things that actually convinced me to do it, because I'm a very lazy person, and I don't like working.
Okay, so if you're gonna work, you have to.
The thing is, it was one of those where I was struggling to get stage time. Every time I would try and get, and you know, the only way you get better is on stage. You can write all you want, but you never know whether you're dope until you're on stage. So I figured, let me just do it because it will give me stage time. And so I'd host every week. Sometimes I'd perform on my own every week, do an hour, 2 hours. And this is 2017, so I'm barely a comedian at that time. Like barely. But it helped build my muscle. And it taught me a hell of a lot about organizing a gig. I mean, I used to organize events anyway, but organizing a weekly comedy gig with this in a space that you don't control most of what happens in it. It was a great learning curve. But the thing that I've learned, which is something that I keep relearning every 2 or 3 years, is to always reinvent yourself. And this is what I'm trying to do this year, where instead of just me hosting on my own, every other month I'm going to get a guest host, or every 2 weeks.
So that you can perform your sets. Let's see if it's still on.
No, well, not necessarily. Why? Is the green light off?
No, you're holding it suspiciously.
Oh, okay.
Like you might just pop it on.
You don't trust me. You don't trust me, please.
No. Well, before you continue, there's just 2 things I want to latch on to there. Successfulness of a gig that runs for 9 years. I know a lot of times people go to owners, ask the owners, can we run a show here? They then have to prove themselves to this owner. And if at any given point they no longer bring what they said they're going to bring to the party, the owner normally cuts the thing. So I think with you, it sounds to me like it's nice that the owner came to you and said, I want comedy at my place, because the fact that the owner made the first move, I think helps
It
in
did
terms
help.
of...
It did help, but not only that, that initial move, it's also the supporting, because I think in the first 3 months I wanted to give up, because like I said, we would barely get 5 people. On a good night there'll be 10 people in the audience, and I kept telling, and the bar was making something like 500 rand, 1,000 rand on the night. So as somebody who understands what running a business is like, I'm like, so I'm like, look, this is not working out. And so for a couple of the first times when we started paying comedians, which is stupid money, I think we pay comedians something like $200, something like that.
By the time it probably...
Yeah, but a lot of the time it was my own money that I'll be paying, because, but what made me even carry on even more is because the owner would say, listen, nothing blows up immediately. Like he said, look, nothing blows up in you. And sometimes we be like, look, I know we're not making money anywhere, but here's a little fraction of us to say thanks for you coming through, you know?
Oh yeah,
You know? Yeah. And so, and I hear it from a lot of people that organize events, getting an owner that's willing to put in not just the extra work, even if it's a little bit of money, when the space is not making any money. It's a rarity. And I need to shout out to Paul Marcelo, how he started Shakers Cocktail Bar. Shout out to you for showing that now. And also guidance and saying, listen, work better with your posters. Schedule them properly. How you use your social media presence and all those things. So he guided me a lot in that. And it's pretty dope.
It's good to have the team behind you. One thing I've noticed is with comedy, it's always that you'll find a good comedy room, but the owner of that room is not into it. And then sometimes you find an owner wants it, but his room is just not set up for it. So there's always this misalignment between the room and the venue owner. Sometimes the room and the venue owner are dope, and then they get the wrong comedian to run
this thing. There's so many things that need to align. So many variables that need to align. And just speaking of owners as well, I want to give a shout out to the guys at Monaco Lounge, where we're hosting Extreme Comedy now. I think this is going to be our second year. It's going to be our third year. We've done it for 2 years now.
The brand is called Comedy Wednesday.
No, it's called Extreme Comedy Wednesday.
Extreme Comedy Wednesday. We started at Shakers. Now it's at Monaco.
So even the Monaco owner, very supportive. One thing that I find from going to many other rooms is just simple things like getting comedians drinks. I mean, if you're not going to pay like premium money, get some drinks.
Make the evening nice.
It doesn't have to be lots of drinks. No. Like, even if it's just a sonya.
2 drinks can get the job done.
No, bro.
2 drinks can get the job done.
Little things like that. And also, like sometimes when you need to book comedians that are like your higher end comedians, we've got a set weekly budget. But if there's a need to add a little bit more on that you're going to honor that says, okay, look, I'll add an extra 2 or 3 grand.
We're getting Skumba in, we're getting Celeste in, we're getting Jean in. Why not?
So having, that support is very, very critical. Very, very critical. And also creating a loyal audience. One thing that I learned, I don't remember where I learned this thing from, but when I started out when we were Shakers Cocktail Bar, because there were only 5 people there, every time after the show, I'll go and chat to the people and talk to them. So even now that the nights are bigger, at the end of every show, I'll go out and speak to people. And they'll be like, yo, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And
but people bring people.
Yes, and then you get to know people's names, you get to know their stories, and even when you're on stage and you're riffing around with the audience, you've got some personal connection with them, and that builds some sort of a loyalty to the space, where you can say you've got a core group of say 20 people that you know at least twice a month they're gonna come through.
And they bring friends, like I said, like if I come regularly and then my cousins are in town, I'm bringing all 4, 5, 6 of them.
Yes,
because this is where I hang out.
So audiences that show support like that are on like top notch, man. And these are guys that come through and they're like, listen, man, tonight's show was really dope. Let me buy a bottle, because they understand that we get paid according to how well the bar does. They'll be like, let me buy an extra bottle just to make sure that tonight is successful, So shout out to the audiences, man. You guys are very, very critical to us making these spaces as awesome as they are,
Nice. Another one. Monaco/Shakers Comedy Extreme Wednesdays. In my mind, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I would like to believe that you guys are the ones who birthed this whole 2-mic hosting setup.
Oh, no, we didn't birth it.
I don't know. Okay, if not birth, let's say that you really planted the tree firmly.
Okay.
Because I think between you and Tapiso, I think you are the first ones I saw do the 2 mics hosting consistently for a long period of time. Before it then started to kick off in other places like your Bioscope and then also your Kitcheners and so on and so forth. But you two really did it the most.
Yeah. Okay, so that all, like I said, things just happen for me. They just work out well. So there was a time I needed to take a break from from hosting. I've been hosting for 2 straight years, and then in 2019, I think it was about April, May, I told the guys, like, listen, I need to take a break because I wasn't writing that much because I'm always hosting every week and doing the running, and sometimes your writing can suffer because of that. So I took a break, and we agreed that Tabiso should host while I'm away. And Tabiso hosted and did great. Also, what that did was it introduced new people to the space. I mean, I'll pop in, say, once a month or twice a month and do a set. And then when they called me back and said, okay, you've taken your break, come back. And I was like, yeah, but we've got to keep Tabiso. The initial plan...
People fell in love with him.
Yes, because they still remember me, but they were like, yeah, but we enjoy Tabiso as well, you know? And then initially what the plan was, I would host 1 week, then Tabiso host another week. We'd do back and forth. And then just one day we were like...
The DJ was like, guys, I've got 2 mics.
Like, let's...
Things always work out for me.
We've been watching too many movies. But yeah, we just decided, okay, you know what, let's just host together. Because we'd seen it, I think the first time I'd seen it being done was Mojack. I think it was Mojack. Kitcheners, because the Kitcheners, they started doing it at some point. I can't remember who Mojack was on, and Mojack is like my all-time favorite host. All-time favorite.
He is 2 people.
Bar none. Mojack Lugogo as a host, you're sorted. So I see him do that, and we're like, look, let's just try it out.
Yes, yeah.
And we found our feet. At some point, we were basically finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah, man, you guys really did. That's why I'm saying, okay, maybe you guys didn't found the thing in South Africa per se, but like, you really planted that tree properly. You did 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Because you two did like 10,000 hours.
Probably did. Because also remember, there's some times when you book comedians and the only people that count is a comedian that was booked and no one counts on the open spot.
So you gotta do...
You gotta fill 2 hours of the show. So Tabiso and I would work at least, like, say, an hour and a half of the night is just Tabiso and I, and that just built the muscle. And it was wonderful to be a part of, and also to hear what people said about what we sounded like and what we looked like on stage. It's one of those special moments in life. Yeah.
No, you said chemistry, which I think if you're gonna be doing that 2 mics hosting style, chemistry is critically. I mean, you both can be funny, but that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Chemistry is particularly important.
Top notch. And also, because we were doing it every week, you know, there's some weeks where you're not at your A game, and there's some other weeks where you're the one that's at your A game. So we need to feed each other and see, oh, okay, no, today I need to step up. Or no, Tabiso's on fire this week, let me just be the background act, you know, and just figure that out. And people out there like, no, this is brilliant. And like, oh, you guys planned this. Like all the time, we just grab the mic and just step on that stage and talk about it.
We've done it so many times, and we also like friends.
Yes, I think that's another thing, is because not just friends. I think we also respect each other as comedians. Because there's that point where I can respect you enough to be able to recognize there's some certain things that you do or say that I'm like, oh, he's about to cook something. Let me let him do his thing, and then let me not interrupt, man.
You don't want to be
you know. Just let him cook what he's cooking and let it happen.
I've actually seen you guys do that. I've actually seen you guys allow the other one to build into a gag, for instance. It's almost like you're like, oh, he's trying to get to the man gag. Okay, let me let you.
And sometimes it's like we've spoken about an idea, it's a crazy idea off stage, and then it starts to coalesce into a gag on stage. And then I'm like, oh, he's figured it out. Let him do it, you know. So, it was it's a beautiful love story. I can tell you that. Beautiful love story.
The Monaco audience, which you love a lot, shout out to them. They are the kind of audience who have come for a night out on a Wednesday. But before they get into party mode, they first want to just simmer into the evening. And the comedy is there for that. Do you find that makes the comedy night a bit different? Or let me rather say, what is the energy that comes to the play? Because obviously there's this expectant vibe. It's like we're going to party later, but for now we're here. But our energy is already ready for a good time.
How can I describe this? It's so a lot of the people are not a comedy audience per se, but they like comedy. I don't know if I'm making sense. So the whole culture of we're going to come and we sit down and be quiet in a theater, a 2-hour or 3-hour show happens and then we go home. This is not the vibe here. these are people that are full of energy from point one. You know, they also want to be a part of the show, and because it's an open space where it's a nightclub. You'll get people that sometimes don't know that there's comedy. They've been partying on Saturday and told you it's fire. Then they come through and then you get to convince them that sometimes if you chill and wait for that 10 o'clock, it's worth the wait, you know. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna have a good time, we'll make fun of you, we'll make fun of somebody, we'll make fun of ourselves, and everybody's gonna have a good time. So it's one of those where I feel like every week you're converting at least 3 people to this comedy
fans.
Yes, to be comedy fans. And there's some people that we've met at proper comedy shows that say, yo man, let me not say proper comedy shows, but like say theater shows, and those big curated shows. It's like formal comedy shows. I've met a lot of them that were like, you know what? I was converted to stand-up comedy because I came to extreme comedy.
Nice.
You know, and that's a good feeling for me that I'm playing a part in the whole comedy ecosystem.
Yes, which is, look, my thing, I've started this in 2025, 2024, but I'm going to say it again in 2026. The Johannesburg comedy industry is currently at a place where we need people like you. We actually need more people like you to play the role of running something and running it good so that the industry can build. Because I mean, I don't know if you want to comment, I've got my opinion, but your comment on the current state of the comedy industry in Johannesburg in general.
I feel like in Johannesburg, there are a lot of people that enjoy comedy, but they are more comedians fans and not comedy fans. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like they're into comedy because of, say, I want to go to all of Skuma's shows, or I'm only going to go to a show when Luiso Lindy's on the poster, type of thing. So what we need is to create a space where people come to a place not because there's somebody on the poster, but because they know there's good comedy here. You know? So right now, I think we're lacking in that. The pipeline from it also plays a part for actually developing comedians. So you're not gonna start from an open mic night and then you're straight onto a lyric theater. So there's years of grinding in between where you develop and you move from one stage to another. And there's sort of like a graduation from this room to that room, to these spaces, to then to the theater, you know. So I feel in Johannesburg there is that middle ground is missing.
It's a bit broken.
Yes, that middle ground. You see the middle ground that used to be filled by Parker's Comedy Club, because that was a great place where it's a proper comedy space, yes, but it also develops you as a comedian and also develops an audience.
Goliath Comedy Club,
where you're developing not just the audience but the comedians as well, because you start from open micing, then you do support, then you headline at the smaller room, and then before you know it, you're being called to come to to your lyric theater, Emperor. So look, I don't want to sound like I'm a soldier who's fighting a good fight. Look, this is where I am. This is what I'm happy doing. Every Wednesday, I get a lot of anxiety coming up here because I'm like, sometimes there's going to be 5 people in the audience. Sometimes the place is full with 300 people. But it's still got to be done on a weekly basis to keep, 1, comedians working, 2, developing new audiences, and then 3, also showing other venues that this thing actually can work. Not just entertainment-wise, but also financially. You know,
because Monaco does work financially.
It does work financially. You know, the model that's been worked out where you do that 2 hours of comedy, then people party after that, and I'm still here as well, hyping it up after the comedy as well. That is something that can work, and it's one of those where we don't all have to do it the same way. But if we do it the way it works for the room, the host, and the audience, it can be something beautiful, you know? Because what we do here is different from what happens at Firescope. It's different from what happens at Artistry or Kitchener's, you know, or at Hush Money. The setup, the layout is different. Also, the type of comedians that we can bring here are also very different. You know?
Not just anybody can play.
Well, not only that, but also we've got a beautiful mix of vernac comedy and your English comedy.
I should say that was the middle ground.
Yes, because there's some rooms where you come there, you do your English sick gags, and they're like, hey, man, I'm not feeling you. Or you come there, you are full on Zulu. Over here, man, we got guys from Pretoria who come and they do Sipitori set 100%, and everyone's having a good time. Then you have your Zulu comic who come and kill it. I mean, when was it? Last year on the second anniversary of Monaco Lounge, we had Tola Small, and then we also had who's this now? Papao Mashabela.
Yeah.
Mashabela. So Tola Small got English and Zulu in his vibes, and then Papao Mashabela is full on Sipi, and everyone was on the floor.
Yeah.
So that being able to have a space that allows for that is really great.
Yes.
But yeah, this is the character of what Monaco Lounge is, and I'm hoping more people can come through to Extreme Comedy Wednesday just to experiences and also to perform here.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people are scared of performing on the stage.
So what I do is when I come here, it's important to make the mental adjustment, as you said. The room is, I find this to be an Englishable vernac room.
Yeah.
For me, that's how I said it. It's like, okay, I can go to a vernac room, it's Englishable. And I can go to a vernac space, but it's going to be vernac space, and I'm going to be the only colored guy with English.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this is a English room with the vernac vibe for me.
Okay.
The vibe is vernac. It's energy. It's power. It's people who will stand up and clap, lift up a chair, you know, there's movement, there's vibe, there's motion. But at the same time, I can speak my English, and they also won't shut me down to be like, English, English. You know, so I make the necessary adjustment when I come here all the time. I have had a set where I struggled and I had to fight, but then I've had some very good sets where I've had an excellent, wonderful set. And I think you've got to just make the necessary adjustments as you go. So take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell for more insights into the South African comedy industry, the comedians, and more. You answered this, I think, in your previous question, but like, is comedy still financially viable? I just find that comedy needs you to do something else nowadays. Comedy and radio, comedy and content creator, comedy and influencer, comedy and DJ, comedy and day job. Comedy and... Is comedy financially viable in Johannesburg?
Look, it is, but unfortunately, it's financially viable for very few people.
Like 5%.
There's like maybe a 5-10% of people that are only making a living, and a decent living at that, off of just comedy.
Yeah.
You know? But there are ways. The idea of how to monetize your comedy, because remember, the way I look at it is, I'm not a comedian, I'm an entertainer. So comedy is just one arm of what I do. And then how can I use my comedy to then catapult myself into other things? So I'll do comedy, then I can do voiceovers, then I can do voice acting, I can do actual acting, then you can do your MCing gigs, you're doing your weddings and your corporate events. So it still falls under the living that you're making under comedy. There's a few people that make a really good living in that way. So what I've done is, I'm just lucky enough that even before I got into the comedy space, I was already in the corporate space for my DJing and MC. So that's carried on. I've got a few clients that I've held on that still call me up to do events for them. And then there's some new ones as well that come in. But look, for me, I think I'd be the wrong person to speak to, because I'm one of those people that I'm not looking to be financially well off. I just want to make sure that when my mom needs something, I can hook her up with it. My landlord needs her money, she gets her money. When I need food, I get my food. If I want to buy a 6-pack of Hunt's Dry, I can do that. Like I'm not trying to buy a house in the hills and buy a big
You're not putting pressure on comedy.
It's actually not putting pressure on myself, because there's this new motto. I'm actually writing my one-man show that I'm going to be taking around the continent called Midlife Clarity. It's not a midlife crisis, I'm going through midlife clarity.
The rest of life was a crisis.
Yeah, but now it's just midlife clarity, because I'm childless and aggressively average. Like my aim in this world is just to be average. I don't want to stand out or anything. I'm just going to do enough to be alive and have a decent time while I'm on this earth, you know. Give myself a good time and a few people around me a good time. So I've managed to curate my DJing and my comedy to allow for me to do that.
Okay.
You know? So but look, if we're looking at it as in trying to make a proper living and buy that house of comedy and buy that car of comedy, you're going to have to do a hell of a lot of work and get into this new world of your social media. How are you going to grow your brand, thinking of yourself as a brand, and then breaking into the corporate space and doing big shows on a regular basis, like your Skumbas and your Star, you know, all these guys. Those guys, they live off of comedy because they're filling arenas with 5,000 people on a regular basis. So that's making a living. But if you're going to try and do it off of kids,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, man.
But we'll take the beers, though. We'll take them beers.
Please hook them up with them. Anyone out there that's running a room, at least get some drinks, bro.
At least, and you know what? I'd even say, make it drinks and transport.
Yeah.
For your headliner or your host or whatever. Be like, yo, your Uber or your Bolt, I'll cover it and I'll get you some drinks. If nothing else.
At least that, yeah. I would say do that. But also, we need to also push up the amount of money that people are getting at the club gig. So last year we pushed up our headliner to $2,000. And I remember when I booked it, I said, $2,000. Oh my God!
Yeah, I was
now balling.
I know. Wait, I think you were busy paying me.
Yeah.
I
told you because that's what I said. I let you know how much you're going to get paid.
Oh yeah.
So that you know what's up.
Hey, bro, I thought I was at a corporate.
Listen to you. You're such an idiot. But yeah, even that 2,000 is a little. It's just it works for the space that we're in and what comedy brings to this space. Yeah. And so that little money that you're like, okay, for what we're doing with you guys, here's some money. And I'm one of those people that's not wanting to make all the money that comes out of here. I'll tell you up front right now. My budget is $5,000 every week. You know, so. And some weeks I'll go home with $500 because I'll book 3 acts.
Oh, because you wanted to be fired that week.
And not just to be fired, but also there's some people that you see that are not getting booked because they're at the cusp of being dope. So they can't be booked as a headliner. They can't be booked as a support. But they can actually be booked as an opener. It also helps boost. I think even yourself, when you got your first comedy paycheck, it made you feel like I can actually do this. So just basically to boost the kid and say, listen, carry on doing what you're doing.
Don't quit. Because after a while, finances will make you be like, I don't think this is.
So there's some kids that I've booked here. There's some weeks where I'm like, I'll just get 3 or 4 of the new up-and-coming kids, give them like say $1,000 each, and be like, come show yourselves off. Because it's part of growing the comedy space, you know. It's also so that people get introduced to new voices. A lot of the new cats that are on the scene only get to perform at one club because that's the only club that allows them to perform. And then trying to get an open spot in other places is tough. You know. And then also once they're dope in those spaces, to prove that they're dope is another story. So just letting people come out here and just be seen by people, be known by people, get your socials and contacts, and who knows what will happen out of that, you know? So if there's any organizers and club venues, I mean, it's a little money, yes, but at least 1,000, man. I think anybody that's being booked must get at least $1,000.
Hey, bro, you'll be surprised what's happening in Johannesburg right now.
I know.
Always be calling me for 300, right?
I know.
So, bro, it's a great opportunity for you, and I'm like, dog.
I know,
that's
man.
My Netflix subscription.
Like, if you're gonna say someone is headlining,
I mean,
put some respect on it.
Come on.
Put some respect on it, you know?
Bexta, we like to keep it short here. I'll rather do a follow-up part 2. People really love the video, but I don't think we need to keep going for too much longer. I think you've said all the wonderful things that should be said. If you want anyone to follow you on any platform or whatever the case may be, you can all at them. We'll put it on the screen.
Okay, I'm only on Instagram and TikTok. I'm very inactive. But you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I'll be doing my East African tour very soon. Posting some things there. Bexta _N, BEXTA _N on both TikTok and Instagram. But
and tell us about Extreme.
Extreme Comedy Wednesdays, every Wednesday. We're going to be celebrating our 9th anniversary at the end of this month. I'm working to see if we can get some really dope names to come through. But yeah, that's 9 years of every single week. And when I say every single week, in December when other rooms closed, we were here telling jokes.
COVID was hardly gone in the room was already.
Yo, man, COVID. Yo,
COVID had just turned its back,
Wow.
and you guys were like, and
I
what's
think,
up?
I think when they were like level 3, we're like, we started doing comedy from 4 to 6.
Yeah,
4 to 6.
yeah.
And people came through, bro.
Yes.
Because I think also that time was because people were going through it.
Yes.
And the laugh was needed.
And comedians needed it.
And yes, also
So,
comedians.
when you
needed
opened up, I'm sure comics were like, please, me.
They were
me,
coming
me,
through,
me,
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah.
no, man, that's cool.
Extreme Comedy Wednesday, Monaco Lounge, 8 to 10 p.m. And then we party after that until 6 in the morning. Tell a friend and
Yeah, they mean that. They mean that. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the South African Comedy Insider. We look to bring you more videos, interviews, everything behind the scenes of what happens and what it takes to make the South African comedy industry grind. This is Bexta, this is Prince. Check you guys.
Thank you very much.